This presentation is being given by Randy Malcolm from National Seating and Mobility. This is all his contact information. Today we are going to be presenting on standers.
Good?
Yep.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. I am going to take you through a series of different types of standing devices. I'm going to start here with a category of products from Ottobock Lackey division, which makes a number of different pediatric options available on the market. Today we're going to focus on standers. I've got a couple of different sizes in these standers. I'm going to start with the smallest, which would be for early on, and move my way up to the larger sizes. On the early on, this is the Squiggles unit, Lackey Squiggles. It is a 3-in-1 stander. It's also got the capability to go from the dynamic base that it's on now to give the child the ability to push in the standing position and also be removed and go over to the pivot chassis here for static type of standing within it. It does have the ability to go from the supine to the standing position, and that's based on hydraulics. As the unit's mounted on here, it will pivot to allow for that. I've got it on the dynamic base just to show the capability of this product, and that there's other options. For years there was a product line of standing DNA, and there are some other options now as standing DNA is not available here anymore. So if you're looking for that and your child's got that capability, this would be one of the good options. But it's got to be for little guys. It's early on, 1 to 5 range. It's all the bigger that this goes into the dynamic. So you can't go to a bigger stander with the dynamic on this. I have another unit I'll show you that does have different sizes available for it. There's many different options as far as the headrest combination. You can adapt other products on here as well. It's got your lateral supports on here, which is pretty common with the chest pad, and then the hip guide portion with the pads. This has got a unique belt along with its bigger brother that I'll be showing you here, called the D-rotation belt. So if the child is rotating one way or the other, you can position that hip belt to help pull those hips back straight and try and keep as much of a straight, erect posture as possible. Then, of course, the knee blocks will be required in this as well. And then the foot plate assembly here with the shoe holders and the foot straps to help keep the feet positioned so they're not rotating out at all. It's got the capability to go from supine to prone positions, and in this particular setup you're typically in the prone position while you're wheeling the unit. But on the pivot chassis base, then you can face forward or reverse, take the headrest off on here like that. And there's a pad that covers the headrest bracket, and then you have the pad right here more so for resting the chin on. So this will slide up and down several inches for adjustment. So for those early on, it's going to be up to max user weight of 48.4 pounds and user max height 43.5 inches, and a starting height of 29.5 inches. So this is one of the go-to models I use for real little guys here and give them several years to grow into. And then once they have outgrown this model, at that point, put this over here for a second. they can go into the MyGo. It's big brother. So, and there's a size 1 and 2 in the MyGo. The only thing you're not getting out of the MyGo that you have in the Squiggles is the dynamic rolling base ability to push it. The MyGo typically starts at age 4, depending on the child. So the Squiggles was up to 5, depending how big they are. So in that 4 to 5 range, if you're starting off standing there for the first time, you're going to want to look starting off right with the MyGo first. And this typically covers an age range of 4 to 10 years old. And then its big brother size 2 goes roughly from 8 to 14 years of age with it. It's got the size 1 is a minimum of 42.5 and max of 57.1 inches tall, and then the size 2 is 53.1 and up to 66.9. So this is about 5'7" basically of height capability. So it's going to cover a range of teenage kiddos and that all through their adolescence basically. So we've got adult age range kids that are using this on a regular basis. So it will adjust everything on this, almost for the most part, along with the Squiggles, is toolless. So as far as adjusting within the home and the therapist and that, adjusting and growing it over the years, that's a huge advantage. You don't have to break out a whole bunch of tools to make those kinds of adjustments. The headrest is about one of the only ones that has an element that's required to adjust and get into exact position for the child. And this again is a number of combinations are available with the headrest on here. It's got your larger curved occipital, so pretty much any kind of headrest you could put on, say a wheelchair, you can adapt to the standard depending on the needs with it. It is a crank style adjustment for the standing, so typically going to land in this position here, and there's a lock so that it doesn't move on you when you're not using it, and lay the child into here, and then adjust all of your straps. So you'll have your chest prop straps on here. You'll have your D rotation belt with it, so that you can again pivot the hips one way or the other with it, so that they can again get some of that rotation out of there and get them as straight as possible through the standing process. It's kind of a unique feature to this stander on this. This is all aero mesh fabric on this here, so it's very breathable. Has some give to it. It's not rigid pads and that like there are on some of the other standards out there. So that's, as far as comfort factor, is a nice feature, and a lot of flexibility into it. Not as much positioning pads and getting the pads in just the right position. It's just a matter of kind of wrapping around the child and then velcroing it down. One of the definite unique features on the MyGo is the ability to change the knee angle. So many, especially if they've not been standing from early on, may have contractions from being able to stand completely straight up. They may be bent in the knees, and this will accommodate that bend to pivot with them. Unlike board style standard that I'm going to show you, where it does not have that capability to accommodate those knee contractures. So that's unique to this product. You can change for leg length differences and differences in the knee contraction. So if one is contracted more than the other, you can accommodate that so that you're getting good contact and support into the knees with it. Then bring them back upright. It's just a matter of doing the crank. So it's a real easy, smooth mechanism. Very little jarring, bouncing around to set off startle reflexes and that. So it is a smooth operation as far as that goes with the crank. The unit has the capability of tray. The tray's not on this model, but it definitely has the tray with it, along with the Squiggles model. They both have the tray option, and several of the other options on here, like I said, is headrest and some varying lateral pads and some of the different positioning components. So as a determination is made, that's when we would spec out more of those options that's unique to your child. It has the prone pads with the leg abduction on it as well that would attach, so as the child's facing in the prone position away, the pad would come up from behind and help keep the hips supported and aligned and secure in place with it. So it's got that capability. It's got a toy bar holder that can connect to the tray to be able to hang some toys and keep their interest in that while they're on it. Using the tray is great for other activities as far as communication devices and iPads and different things they can interact with on the tray. But the more they can stand, the better. You might start off with a tolerance of, say, a half hour and then continue to build up. But the more you stand, definitely the better. They can tolerate it. For folks who don't know, it's going to improve alertness. It's going to get them up and more eye level, maybe with their peers and that. So you get them in that standing position, which promotes learning, digestive, bowel, bladder. Facilitates the formation of the hip and joint development with bearing weight through the hips on the body so that they seat properly in the pelvis. Helps improve skin integrity by not being in the seated position all the time, so it gets them off of their bottom and up standing. Promotes bladder bone growth, stretching of the muscles, decreasing of the contractures, things like that. And then also getting that good upright body for breathing, circulation. And we're collapsed in our wheelchairs and strollers and things like that, and we're not getting as much movement and as much respiration and trunk extension as the standing position can give you. So those are some definite added benefits of doing the standing. These units are readily available for trial, so as we go through the videos and there's particulars like the seed, and we can get that together with whoever you're working with therapy-wise to further evaluate. This concludes the portion of the Lackey line of